Yeah, we're gonna try this again. Today, I'm gonna run through just Sibelius workflow, demonstrate my own keyboard shortcut set that I have in a recent blog post, and also demonstrate how to work what I believe to be optimally in Sibelius. So I'm gonna transcribe the second movement out of Beethoven's Piano Sonata number 13. Gonna try and get as close to the Schenker edition here as possible. I won't be tabbing back and forth between this the whole time. I have it open on my iPad. Um, I actually had a failed attempt on this because I ran into some issues with cross-staff slurs on Sibelius and just totally gave up. But gonna give this a second go here. So open up blank template, add piano. Okay, got a 3/4 time signature. No pickup bar. Tempo marking is allegro molto vivace. No metronome marking. I believe the key signature is C minor, but I don't know that there is any difference in how Sibelius handles major versus minor key signatures, even though it has two separate sets. And clear this out so we can later append it to the first movement. Create. And we have right away our first bar line. We want full screen here. We want a start repeat. Start repeat and go. Now I generally use a combination of slurring while I'm in the middle of putting something down or stopping and going back to slur. Obviously you have to end each slur with Shift S. Usually I do it this way though, unless I'm entering a lot of dynamics in at the same time or there's other markings. Now I'm going to choose staccatissimo. Make sure I'm looking at the right bar. And cancel the staccatissimo. Okay. G flat. Add in some of our dynamic markings using the shortcut for the expression text. Give ourselves another bar line. Use the line tool, second ending, first ending, bar line, no shortcut for that, and repeat, and go back to treble clef. So it actually switches between treble clef and bass clef a couple times on here. I'll post a link to this PDF, or its IMSLP page on the description of this video when I'm done. But easiest thing to do, because we have a total of 4 bars in treble clef, is just to put those in right now. So treble clef here, make sure we're right. 2 bars of bass clef, 2 bars of treble clef, and it switches automatically back to your original clef when you do it like that. So G. And here, just to show different ways of doing things, I'll actually put in the staccatismos after the fact. Ooh. I put the full chord in before using the slur tool. Okay, and make these cross staff switches. Switch the bass clef to using X, flip the stems, flip the object of the actual slur itself. Do the same over here. Gonna have to manually adjust those slurs because Avid loves us. And it's Command Shift down. Yeah, I think is the default command for that. Is that the only two bars? Yeah. So to get that manual adjustment right, you're actually going to want to disable magnetic layout specific to that object. And we'll want to flip that, drag from the lower end there, and I think it'll play nicer when we inevitably respace our staves if we get the tips onto the stems themselves. Do the same over here. Disable magnetic layout. It's the best slur ever. Did I get magnetic layout off on that one? There. And quick save. I save over my actual first aborted attempt. And even though there's a double bar here, we'll lead with the repeat bar. Change the page at my iPad. And a little bit more on this page of these terrible cross staff slurs to go. And here I forgot the slurs, so select the bar or whatever region of notes you need and manually put those in. And in staccatismo passage, it's a lot easier when it's one of the standard first numpad articulations that you're dealing with. Is that right? It's important to note when you're adding a chord, you have to hit the accidental for each note in the chord. So hit the natural sign again before I hit Shift B. And kill staccatissimo. I have never been so self-conscious about the way I say staccatissimo. Okay. Add in our expression text because putting on the first stave here will get it between the parts. We want a crescendo symbol when we jump back up to that A, C, G. And bass clef time. Oh, and I forgot to go back in and put slurs on these. Keeping the party going. Let's see, we had C, E flat, A. Using the bar numbers I have to work with out of the PDF makes this a little less fun. But the version is super clean. Then I'll just switch to treble clef here in the middle of writing, but I'll have to revert it in a couple of bars. Duh. And slur all those bars. Are you kidding me? Select all those, could have just clicked one and then shift clicked the other rather than dragging at our staccattismos. Put in our end repeat. Get our 2-bar slur there. And I'll, I demonstrated up here how much fun it is to do cross staff slurs, and I'll just do that never. So we have okay, this is going to be fun. Well, And I'm gonna take that whole bar, just make that switch. Hit X on the bass clef bar, switch those down, and then I'm gonna repeat the Dickens. Well, actually, I'm only gonna do it twice. So that it changes. 1, 2. I'll do it a third time because I'm gonna change up here that third beat, and what we'll have to do instead. Now, while I did have, I struggled just a minute ago with a preliminary video on this. I haven't done extensive previewing of it. That's probably why I had that problem the first time. Add an E there. We'll actually just do. Okay, we'll take this bar. I am right here. What I'll do, I'll repeat this bar and I'll just change that third note. No, because the pattern changes again here. Oh, duh. So I'll select that note in the bass part. Essentially that beat. And clear it with rest here. And that'll be bass voice the entire time. And this is just a matter of tie with the backslash button. One, two, three. Cool. And we'll get to that split in a minute. And here we will just repeat this until we get. Oh, there we go. Fix our stems. Stem direction. 2. Okay. And here we'll actually add G and make natural bass note. Clear that. Yeah, second bar of that. Nope. And it'll actually just be easier to manually clear out that accidental. Best rest. E. D flat B. And put in our accents. Fix the directions. and get our bass notes in. Three, 1, 2. Make a manual adjustment. Oh, cool. It's gonna bring the articulation with it. Let's flip that because that's where it should be anyway. Okay. Make some manual adjustments here. And save. I always forget there's not a shortcut here for split bar, but there we just made one. Beats 1 and 2, beat the third. Raise it up an octave. Put our dynamic marking below that. And one tragic thing is that it's going to repeat that dynamic marking here in a minute, but not the end of the world. And how many bars of that do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It jumps down. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, let's first though. Second ending. P-bar. Sure, that drove some people crazy just looking at. Put an R, decrescendo. Put in our piano. Put in a piano over here. Could have easily repeated these bars. Now, we actually probably want to bind these two bars together, so what I'll do, nope. Well, we'll take care of that later. For now, I'll just add a trill line. And Sibelius does not do a very good job of handling dashed crescendo lines. And one really awful looking trick I like to employ is just manually hitting tab and doing it that way rather than trying to go under lines and I could make my own style, but I don't use it very often. It's not worth that initial investment of effort. So let's find in this section. Need to get a start repeat. Have 2 bars and then come in. No. That's what I want. So I'm hawing. Gotta come up with a way to get double slurs on what Sibelius would consider to be a single note. And first, I'm going to make this a hidden bar of 2/4 because it's going to Command Shift H to hide that. It's going to weird up the spacing just a little bit, but that's probably the easiest way to do that for right now. And add our slur above, but also manually our slur below. That works. It's pretty ugly, but it will do. And actually, I made a mistake. When we switch octaves here, we actually get rid of the accent articulation. I don't like the solution I have here for fixing this meter. I'm not sure that I know a plugin to help me out. This is something even Dorico. I don't like the way you lack some sort of controls. In Finale, you could probably change something in the measure properties. And oh boy, I'm gonna have fun with this slur. Let's get the bass part in here too first, though. Which is also a bit weird. So what I'll do, because that's what is really happening, I'll slur those two notes, or I'll tie those two notes, and I will make, this is just manual adjustment city. Might as well turn off magnetic layout for all slurs in this. Shaker has that going down. There was one change that how Shaker had it as well. I wonder actually, does Shaker do his own editing in this? Or is there a wonderful engraver behind all of this who will remain uncredited? Okay, and this last page is a lot more like the first. So what I'll do, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a good amount. Treble, 2 bars of nope. Good. Yikes. It's totally arbitrary, by the way, that I've switched to doing the left hand first rather than the right hand. Control GG. Actually, I'll want to apply on that note already my staccatissimo, so I will go on without doing any of them, so I can go back and get that one too. Half of the time I'm stopping for something. Aside from that, obviously, is so that I'm making sure I don't lose my place. It's easily the most frustrating thing. Okay, and here I have a section with a chain of octaves, actually. So I'll show you what I'll do. A, F, C. Type it all in first. Okay. Alright, so that section where it's all in octaves ends there, and it starts after the A. I'll just grab it all, hit Shift 8, and we're good. You do that any interval, and it's worth doing when you, rather than hitting Shift 8 or Shift G again each time. And put in all our, let's get our articulation first. So we starts all the way back. Tie a slur from right there. Boom. Let's see, where is the next marking I skipped over in the bass part? It's for the Sforzando start. Dun, dun. What I'll do, I'll just copy paste onto each individual bar. And it stops there. Let's have lots of fun with the right hand now. So. There's a number of behaviors I have changed from the defaults, including the way courtesy accidentals are automatically handled. I find when I'm doing something like this, it saves a lot of time to just do it manually and not have to guess what the program is going to do on its own. So... And if I actually hit G here with the quarter note still active, it'll do the work of making that new note for me. I forgot to hit that there. I don't want that slur continuing over, so I'll actually Command Z until I'm back here. Select that slur, and oh, no. Let's hit S there, hit spacebar to extend the slur. GDB. Put in that forte marking in a minute. Because I don't want to deal with a stop for the break in the slur that would occur. Oop. Okay, this rhythm, it's really not fun or fast to put in. So, what's it right here? Yeah. Let's position that right on the downbeat. Just going back to make sure we're A-OK on markings. We had that forte earlier. Right where that piano marker is, we have a sempre legato. on the top, save, on the bottom, save. We also have, and give this a separate dynamic or separate text box for the expression. Piano marking on the bottom, save. Get that in. I'm going to start this right here. I think I made an error. Okay, let's turn on. This is always part of the fun. Okay, well, bar number's turning on now. Oh. Wait, do I have the alignment right there? No. No, I picked the wrong bar. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. It's been going on long enough. Rather than watch me find the error, I'm going to, okay, the split bar line stopped the measure number counting. Rather than find the error on screen, I will go ahead and call this video here. I've shown enough useful things, I think. I would like to do something like this again, though, maybe with a wind part, or really anything available on IMSLP or in the public domain. I'm never sure exactly what to post. I will have a completed version of this, hopefully in the description in a day or two. And anyone who's involved in the OpenScore project can take the work I've done on these two movements and finish off the sonata. Hopefully this has been somewhat informative on using Sibelius more effectively. I really try and watching Keycaster was probably the best thing to be doing. Any specific questions that aren't just technical support, maybe I can use as a framing device, or explain in another video about using Sibelius more effectively. So thanks.